I thought for this project it would be really interesting to see how COVID-19 has altered my daily lifestyle and has made me make different decisions and choices. Since quarantine has started, a lot of the things that I do ritually have changed. I thought that it would be really interesting to go through and see how these changes have affected me. I also thought it'd be super important to ask my friends and family to reflect upon why COVID-19 would be remembered in history, as this virus has affected and changed all of our lives. Since online school has started, school has looked very different for a lot of us. So I pretty much just go to eChalk, check my pages. I go to my school email, go through that, see if there's anything new. I'll check Turnitin to see if there's anything that's been recently updated. But pretty much check my home email, see if there's anything. But really, it's going through and checking to see if there's anything due. I don't even get out of bed for it. I usually do all my homework lying in bed. I usually don't start until like 12, so it's pretty light. One big change for me during quarantine has been the fact that I've had to run on the pavement. It's really hurt my knees after like a mile to run on the pavement, so I've had to run on like grass and people's lawns to try and avoid running on the hard pavement, which has been a really big change for me during this whole quarantine. This is day something of quarantine. We've been running on the roads around our house to keep our cardio up. So since we haven't had lacrosse practice, we have been, me and my sister, playing. We have this nice little strip of turf, so we've been able to play a lot of lax during this quarantine. So fortunately, I have been able to work out in my basement. I've been putting my workouts on this whiteboard wall, and I have plenty of equipment, which has made it super easy and available to get good workouts in. One of the major positives that I found during quarantine is the fact that kids are finally getting at least 8 hours of sleep. This is really good for kids' mental health and physical health. Both of my sister and brother are still sleeping. So one of the biggest changes that has happened since COVID-19 is that you have to wear masks and you have to have gloves at all times anytime you want to go into public and into stores. This has been a really huge change for all of us since we're definitely not used to this type of lifestyle. It's very foreign to us. So I've shown a video next of what it is like in grocery stores, how little like food and supplies that you want, there's just none of it. And I've also had to overlink her talking with a random song for copyright reasons. I have been going on a lot of walks with my dog to occupy the time. I've also been playing with my neighbor's puppy, which has been a lot of fun. And I've seen a couple of my friends, and we've been doing a lot of social distancing activities like hikes and other things that keep us within 6 feet apart, but we still get to see each other, which is fun.
Come on. Babies.
We're playing life. It's been one way our family has been occupying our time during quarantine.
I can't get Esme over there. I want to have to go in the water and get.
Now that you've seen how COVID-19 has affected my life and has changed my daily lifestyle, I've asked my friends and family to answer the question, why will COVID-19 be remembered in history?
I think COVID is going to be remembered because of the drastic shift in lifestyle among people. We went from being able to go out, go to school, and just live our normal lives to now having to stay at home, having to stay 6 feet away from people, and only being allowed out wearing masks and gloves. It's also been really hard on people's mental health. People have lost so many jobs. The unemployment rate is dropping drastically. Also, economically, businesses are losing so much money. This is a really hard time and going to have huge effects on our country and the world for a long time.
I think that COVID-19 will be remembered in history not only for all the traumatic events that it's caused, but it's also living proof on how quickly things can change. We went from hanging out with our friends every day, going to school every day, playing sports with a team, and running errands freely, to distance learning, being stuck at home, unable to see anybody, having our sports seasons canceled, and having to wear a mask and gloves every time we leave the house. And it's crazy to think how in the span of 1 week, all of these things changed, and how these things that we would consider completely crazy maybe a year ago became normal so fast.
I believe COVID-19 will be remembered in history because of how impactful it is to the entire world, not just the US or any specific country or nation. This pandemic has reached immense amounts of deaths, and it's similar to the Black Plague and how it spread throughout the whole entire world, and this pandemic will definitely be taught throughout history for years to come.
I think the coronavirus will be remembered in history because it's something that none of us have ever experienced anything like before. I mean, we're all being quarantined at home for, this is week 8, and it's just, very surreal. And, there's no toilet paper and just so many weird things that have just never happened before. Also, it's hard to deny that the economy is taking quite a hit from this, and so many people have lost their jobs in such a short period of time that it's hard to deny that it's not going to go down in history in some way or another.
I think this will be remembered in history because just like we just saw recently in 9/11, it'll forever change how people and businesses need to operate. I think we're going to see some industries, unfortunately, aren't going to be able to survive this epidemic, but there's going to be new industry that's going to be spawned from it, and that'll create new opportunities, forward thinking, and preparation for the next time this happens. So we'll always revert back to this as a memory of what we need to do better for the next time.
Hi, Kelly asked me to come talk about how COVID will be remembered in history. And I think it will be remembered in history because it's going to create a lot of new normals. I think the first new normal that it's going to create is how and where we work. Because we've all had to work remotely for so long now, I don't think we'll ever go back to having to be in an office 5 days a week or having to commute for a really long time. I think with the technology and how we're all working right now has proven that many of us can work anytime, anywhere. And I don't think we're ever going to go back to what was. The second thing is I think the new normal of how we interact with strangers is going to change. I'm not sure we're ever going to be shaking hands again, or maybe there's never going to be a time when we don't have to wear masks to the food store. I think a lot of those habits and trends will continue. And I think the third thing is COVID reminded us how important, taking downtime with people that we love the most are, and how much fun that can be, whether it's lots of family dinners, or playing games or watching movies together. This extended amount of downtime has proven that we've missed that a lot. But on the flip side of that, I think it also reminded us how important our extended family and friends are, and that we never want a world where we're not able to do that. So hopefully that summarizes what I think will be remembered in history by COVID. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Kelly, great question. The virus has disrupted the entire globe. Just in the U.S. alone, 1 month in April, 22 million jobs are lost. That's 10 years of job growth wiped out in 1 month. So it's very significant. This is disrupting everyone's lives. There will be social, political, and economic changes. The question will be, what will those changes look like? And that's going to be a fight, actually, between different ideologies. Your more conservative ideology and your progressive ideologies. So we kind of have to take a wait and see approach on that. I want to quote something from the New England Journal of Medicine. As a result, epidemics provide a sampling device for social analysis. They reveal what really matters to a population and whom they truly value. The question will be, what is the answer to that question? And we have to take a wait and see approach.
And now why I think this virus is going to be remembered in history is because it exposed the unpreparedness our country was for something this detrimental. We didn't have masks, we didn't have respirators, we had to figure all of that out. It showed that we were not prepared for something like this, and it will definitely prepare us in the future. And I feel like after this virus, the way that we live will change forever.